I'm not going to let everyone leave here without having some good reactions. Please permit me, let me just have my engineer, if our network is friendly this time, to just say her wrap up, and then the mic will be open for persons who would want to react, make input, or ask questions, or tell us even real life stories. We'll have that. So, Engineer Vivian, please, if you're here, I want to yield the floor for you. Permit me just for a very few minutes. Don't be as long as David King, please.
Okay. Yes, yes. He's a man of action and he practices it. David King, you are just something else. Thank you so much. I'm quite proud and
thank you, ma'am.
friends with it. Yes. So
Thank you, ma'am.
brothers and sisters, I think and I know that marriage is a good thing. I know most of us are Christians. Marriage is a good thing. We should guide it so that we'll be able to leave a good legacy for our children. What we are facing today in our societies, what starts from the home, where you say the man is there out there chasing money. The money is chasing becomes useless if the family is not put together. Because you can bring all the money and your children, there will be your figure and your light tomorrow and not there to give you peace. It will cause more pain than the wealth you have acquired. Women, please, if we could just stop taking advices from those women who are envious of us in our homes. They cannot be like us, and they're not ready to emulate and be like us. They now form a kind of cocoon to break us by feeding, subtly some negative things into us. And you come to a woman and say, I beg, not be this marriage, waiting for that one, I'm not going to die. If you do your own, I do my own. We have seen today what is going on about open marriage. Whether we like it or not, it is bringing shame. It is bringing shame. So these conflicts and these problems, this strife we are having, that is stagnating us. If we can work together, I think we have a long thing and a long way to solve it and be happy. And we know that marriage is happy to be in. Let's make it work. Thank you.
It's been a wonderful evening, my dear friends, and we've had it from the best of sources. People who have stayed in their marriages, who've had scares, and they've actually overcome their challenges, and I'm sure they're managing their own conflicts, because I know conflict is something that exists with relationships. So I want to thank you so much for being with us and for being patient. At this point, I want to know if we have reactions. Anyone has anything to say, you want to ask a question, you want to comment, you want to react, you want to even disagree with what we're saying. Maybe marriage should never be, or conflict should be allowed to degenerate. This is the time we can yield the floor to you. So please, if you have anything to say, we want to have your hand indicated. You can indicate just going to your settings, just touch on the raise your hand, and we'll have you speak to us. So it's an amazing meeting here. Thank you, Dr. Kelechi, and to you, King David. All right, thank you. So any reaction, any question, any contribution, real life situations, things that are happening. I ran into a lady a few days back who was telling me that she doesn't believe in marriage. And her major reason was the fact that when guys are toasting her as a lady, they go all the way out, do all manner of things to entice her, bring her, to the point where she accepts the relationship. And down the line, you see that there will be this disconnect, and it's no longer the toast as usual. And she feels the same thing happens in marriages, that when we chase, we find, and then settling in a relationship or a marriage, we no longer chase. So she feels that it's better not to be involved in a relationship, in a marriage, so that she will continue to enjoy the chase. That's part of what could be causing the conflicts we see in homes when people are no longer chased and they no longer chase. So one thing I think is if you can't sustain a thing, don't just start it. We have so much in our hands and we need to all have a way around some of these things. So I don't know. Chinoye, all right. Thank you so much. I want to yield the floor to you. Please, you can go ahead. It's all right. If we don't have anyone who has anything to say, we're going to call it a wrap. I want to thank you for being part of this. We're going to look at this and then make it available to you. If you want to have this event or meeting is recorded, if you want to have a copy of it, we wouldn't mind you dropping either your email at the comment section, your email, phone number, maybe through WhatsApp, however, we can reach out to you and give it or pass it. We want to do that so you can listen to it over and over and maybe make your comments. We also have our YouTube channel, Insights with Dr. K. You may want to also follow us so that you can be on trend with us or find thoughts about what people would want to share, what we were saying on our own. So please, we'll encourage you. I dropped the YouTube link on the message. You can go there and click on it for follow. I don't know. I'm having a new message here. Is anybody willing to say something? Okay. Oh, my PDG. PDG Elvis, thank you very much. I'm seeing here at chibiko@gmail. All right, please, if you want to have a recording of this meeting or conference or virtual, whatever you call it, or call, we want you to drop your email. We'll have it and pass to you the recorded session. I want to thank you so much. David King Etienam, I thank you so, so much. You're awesome and amazing. I'm sure this is not the last time we're going to have you in our calls. We'll have you over and over. And I believe that anytime we call, you will pay attention to us in your busy schedules. Thank you so much. My own very engineer, Vivian. Yeah, thank you so much too. In fact, you're the alternate convener of this call. I want to thank you in a very special way.
I have a question. Hello.
All right. So thank you. I'll let you do that, please. Muna, go ahead.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Dr. K. I have a question for Mr. David because he's been talking about marriages and the conflict and every other thing. I didn't hear him talk about abuse in marriages. And I was meaning to ask, if marriage gets abusive, is there a way to resolve it? Or is this just a walk away thing? Maybe when he's done with that, I would ask my next question. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. I wouldn't want to burden him so much, but I want to take one more question or reaction, then he will respond to you. I have Ichie Mekopara raising up his hand. Ichie, I yield the floor to you.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Are you hearing me?
Yes, very well. Thank you.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Dr. K, I'm so grateful for this. And King David has also done well. Engineer has also done well. I just want to make a little contribution. I've been listening all through. First and foremost, I'm so grateful that we are discussing this. Most of the times, we are too busy chasing what we don't really know. And in the process of chasing those things, our marriages are going bad. And first and foremost is the courage to even discuss it. Because a lot of people is going through a lot of family challenges. Nobody want to talk about it. Everybody comes home and feel that all is well. But I just thought this is just the starting point. I want to encourage you guys to put more light to it. But let me just make a simple contribution. Marriage is the best thing that can happen to anybody. I want to give a personal instance on my own. I'm from Abia State. My wife is from Edo State. The culture is so different that the first thing I did was to call her, sit her down, say, "Her babe, say, let's find what will make this thing work." Because I come to understand, if what my mom and dad practiced was marriage, somebody like me would not have been interested. Because for me, I don't understand what they were doing, but they were living together. But their marriage wasn't the format for me. So what we did was to call ourselves. Let's sit down and see what will work for us. And God helping us, we've done that for 15 years. We've never had any major challenge or the one that will call friends and well wishers to come and help us. Then I'm speaking to men, although most people, if you're a young man here, I keep telling young men that most of us marry for the wrong reasons. One, agendas we set up for ourselves most of the times is a problem. I keep telling young men that breast that you're looking that is pointing at you, once one or two babies suck it, it will fail. So if that breast is your vision, certainly you will have a problem. If that breast is your vision, you will have a problem, because that is where the infidelity and looking outside, because the breast you are hoping on has fallen. So from day one, know what you want.
Okay, we're having more hands up.
So I have a lot to say, but let me just give other people a chance. Thank you for making our time to do this.
Thank
God
you
will bless you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. David King, Engineer Vivian, I'm noting some of these questions. I also would want you to do same, but I have more hands coming up. I want us to take all of them.
Yes, sure, I'm doing that.
Yes, so let's have all of them, and then we'll respond once at a time, and we'll all be good. I have Edinwa raising up her hand. Edinwa, after you, George will take the floor, and maybe we'll call it a day. All right, Edinwa, the floor is yours.
All right. Good evening, Dr. K. Good evening, our resource persons and dear friends on this session tonight. I I want to appreciate our resource persons for what they've been able to give us this evening. One thing I understand that we all agree that there are conflicts in marriages and relationships. Let us also know that conflicts can be positive or negative. For me, I want to dwell on one aspect through which you can be able to avoid some of those conflicts or misunderstanding. And this has to do with an approach developed by Mahatma Gandhi, and it's called non-violent communication. Non-violent communication is a communication approach that focuses on empathy, honesty, and understanding. It aims to create a connection between individuals, resolve conflict peacefully, and improve relationships. Now, it also gave something. He also brought out five pillars of non-violent communication, which centers on respect. It centers on respect. That is, the family should develop a respectful behavioral model where parents should model respect towards each other. Children and other members of the family, parents must intentionally develop the use of respectful language and tone, demonstrate a high sense of empathy and active listening to every views or opinion shared. Now, the other is understanding. In understanding is just like in respect, the family must give each person an undivided attention and maintain eye contact and showing a great deal of empathy by putting oneself in others' shoes. Parents must always acknowledge and validate emotions. They must avoid assumptions and encourage open and honest dialogue. Then the third one is appreciation. Each family member should learn how to show and express gratitude to other members by giving genuine compliments, acknowledging effort and accomplishments. They should also learn to spend quality and dedicated time with family members by engaging in activities they enjoy. They will have acceptance. Family members should focus on strength on each other rather than on their weaknesses. This is very important. They should learn to embrace each family member's uniqueness and avoid being judgmental or critic. Then the last one is compassion. Parents must at all times give full attention to the family and share each other's viewpoints. The family must show understanding by recognizing each other's struggles. Our language must be gentle. Speak kindly and softly to each other and avoid criticism. Physical affection is also necessary here to build a better bond. So if you can apply these five pillars of nonviolent communication in a relationship in a marriage, you find out that we'll be having a balanced relationship and marriage experience. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I do appreciate. That's quite insightful. Thank you, George from Owerri. Edinwa, I can have you speak now.
Yes, my Rotarian, my PAG, and others in the house. Good evening, all. I just have one thing, or should I call it a contribution or a question? Another thing again that equally causes all this is out of sight. Sometimes is also out of mind. When you are away from your partner and from your family, from your children, in fact, sometimes it equally diverts your mind to get a second wife or to look for someone outside there because you're unable to reach out to your family members. As it stands now, so many guys or so many families or wife or the husband, they are now looking out to travel outside the country. People want to japa. Why they want to japa? Because of the hardship we are experiencing now in our country. And before you know it, there will be separation from both partners. So out of sight is equally out of mind sometimes. Not to all, but as it stands now, people are traveling here and there. And a woman who has been staying with the husband for years, and she's no more seeing the husband to stay with. Maybe she's feeling cold or she's lonely and nobody to be there for her. I wonder how she would be or how she will stay all alone in the house. And before you know it, she will be in a different association, have friends, having meetings here and there, attending to different associations here and there. And before you know it, she will now divert her attention to somewhere else. And the feelings will not be there again because she's not seeing the husband physically. So we should equally try as much as we can to also look onto this. If we are traveling outside the country, give yourself some years or 2 years or 3 years. Let me come back and meet with my family or do the visa together and jump out with my family than staying over there for 10 good years. You are not there with your family. So sometimes it brings out separation in the family. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's quite valid. You stated the obvious. I wouldn't want to respond to you. I'd rather have David King and engineer Vivian to look into this. We had question from Muna relating to abuse, and then we're talking about distant relationship from Edinwa. So David King and Vivian, this is for you.
Okay, thank you. I will just take it briefly first. Let me start with the last person that spoke about distance. The truth is, we may not be able to stop that or eradicate it based on what we see today in the world. But this again can be handled. How? Thank God for technology. I take myself, for instance, my early stage in marriage, my husband was with an organization that takes him out every other time. I remember for like 10 years, we could hardly say out of the 365 or so, we stayed together for like 1 month or two. He's always on the move. Now that is where discipline comes in for both the man and the woman. And that is why it's very important to know who you are marrying to. Now, loneliness, yes, that is true. But it can be handled by getting yourself involved with people that are positive, not wrong company. Not wrong company. Being there for each other spiritually, and then knowing that, yes, this person is out for this while for a purpose. If the man is out there, he knows that I am out there, but I have my wife by me. And then every other time, at every other evening, they should be able to talk to themselves. In the morning, they should be able to talk to themselves, pray together. In the evening, and they are retiring home, they should be able to talk to themselves and say good night. And with that, the loneliness will not be as much as when there is silence. That was how I was able to handle mine. God helping me. So that is on that. And the other one, my sister was talking about violence. Beloved sister, what I have taught one or two people that had similar problem was, if you know that it's your mouth that is causing the man to lose his temper, you know your man, you know the kind of person he is, you read him, you understand the kind of person he is. Try to curtail it. When something is when you are being pushed, when you are being handled in such a way that it tries to devalue you, because it does happen most times. And no woman want to be in that position, or a man even want to be in that position. You will now want to react. In that instance, what I expect or I do is I zip my mouth. I just get myself silent and give him some distance. The madness will only happen for a while. After a while, when you are talking to somebody and you are hollering and shouting, and the person is not responding to you, you by yourself borrow wisdom, sense, and say, am I actually mad? Look at the person I'm talking to, he's not even responding. And how not to respond is by going out of the sight of that person. If it's a man that is being talking so much, you go out of his reach. For instance, you can leave the room where he is and go to another room. Put on your ear this thing and be listening to music. You not even listen to the words that will get you angered up. If it's the woman that's our mouth, that's our strength. The same thing with the man. I'm not always of the advocate that a man should carry his car key or walk away, because that is where they walk into destructions. All you need to do, put on your music and just stay out of the place. If it's in a room, leave that room and go to another place and engage yourself with something else. You see that after some while it will die off. And once all the tension dies off, you begin to bring back yourself again. That is what I think, and that is what has happened that has helped one or two persons that I know. Thank you.
Okay, let me also lend my voice to those beautiful contributions. Thank you so much. Talking about abuse, well, not that I did not mention abuse. Of course, we are limited by time, and some things could just skip my mind while we were addressing some other things. But of course, we cannot negate the fact that abuse is one of the things that plagues marriages. And when we are talking about abuse, let's not also forget that abuse does not only end or start and end with physical abuse. Of course, we have emotional abuse, we have psychological abuse, we have financial abuse, we have verbal abuse, and all forms of abuse that happens in marriages. And for me, I've come to realize that one of the solutions to all forms of abuse is respect and value. If we respect our partner and value our partner, we will not abuse them in any way. Because that respect, that regard, that value that we have for them goes ahead of us in how we treat them, in how we talk to them, in how we relate with them, in how we behave with them. Then again, remember, I am not talking about, I said something about expectations. I also said something about, decisions and choices. So long as you are not part of that expectation, or you are not a determinant factor. Let's assume now that your husband is abusing you, or your wife is abusing you. You cannot end that abuse by yourself. You cannot tell him, stop this, and just think that that ends it. That change, that transformation requires his participation. The best you can do is to, from time to time, talk to him. Say, honey, I don't like the way you talk to me. I don't like the way you treat, you treat me regarding this, regarding that. All of that has to do with communication. And not just communication, you see, because talking with your partner about what they do to you or what you think they are not doing for you, there is also the how it is communicated. And at times, in trying to communicate that, okay, you are treating me wrongly, we further even escalate the matter because we miss the how. And so all of these are dynamics that we need to embrace, tutor ourselves, practice, and see ourselves embrace. Whether you are the one that is abusing your partner, all you need to do is embrace and value them, respect them, value them. And you'll find out that if you really, truly respect and value your partner, the abuse that you dish out to your partner will begin to dwindle. And if it is, I mean, if the table is flipped on the other side and you are the one receiving abuse from your partner, you would again want to communicate this abuse or this level of abuse with your partner so that you can look at it, talk about it, but the how is always very vital so that we don't trigger things beyond necessary. I think what what Madam had said about a distant relationship, I don't. If I go into that matter again, I will overshoot. So let me just leave it at that. And I appreciate you, ma'am, for your contribution. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, David King, and thank you, Ambassador Vivian. We do really appreciate you. Thank you so much. My dear friends, I think we're going to be calling it a day at this point. My special thanks to Dave and to Vivian. Unfortunately, we didn't have Dr. Bola, who was supposed to be here. He had a coinciding event in Port Harcourt. He resides in Lagos, but has an event in Port Harcourt and promised that if he finishes on time, he was going to join us. But I don't think that happened for him. So subsequently, we're still going to bring him back and have him. It would have been a beautiful thing if he joined us, but we also enjoyed every moment of time we spent here. Myself, I so enjoyed it. I want to thank you for sparing time and for being here. I dropped my phone number in the comment section in case you would want us to continue to engage on some of these things. We'll have it. And I also drop our YouTube link. You can also follow to know more on our social handles, the Facebook and Instagram. You can just follow up and see what we'll have as updates. We'll be having this often. Dave, I will have you again. And Vivian, of course, we're here together. This is our thing. Now here we'll die. So we'll keep doing it until we see the result that we're expecting. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I want to wish you a beautiful night rest. And I pray that the Lord will continue to bless you all. In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Yeah.